Okay, so what I believe I'm doing right now, guys, is I believe I'm live, and I'm gonna have to check on this. This was actually an exercise in just coming outside. Some of you guys that watched me before, now there's a high likelihood that the majority of you watching this are watching it after and not watching it live, because I realize that it is quite early back east. And so there's a pretty good chance that this actually didn't hit the right thing on YouTube. But anyway, I wanted to do this because I was walking outside and I didn't really have a whole lot to do. Is it skipping and pausing? Oh, that really bums me out. Yeah, you know what's funny is I'm tethered to my. I'm seeing is it is skipping and pausing. So unfortunately, this might not work. I'll give it a few more seconds here, but if you guys have ever been to Thailand, you may have seen one of these in 7-Eleven, but it's really goofy, right? Now, what I thought I would do actually is use my lav mic because I thought it would be better audio. But maybe that's better audio. I don't know. I have a feeling what's going to happen though is that the audio may be fine. The crackling sound could be caused by the internet connection. That's true. I know that these lav mics are. Oh yeah, better. Thank you very much. These lav mics are they're pretty sensitive and they're okay indoors, but for the most part, okay. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And what I'm able to see fairly well. I can get it a little closer, I guess. Now I can see the chat fairly well. But again, do let me know if the video is just so ridiculously annoying, and I'll stop. One of the reasons I wanted to do this is I was sitting there in my let me take this off. Oh, actually, no, you know what? I can't see if Daniel's there. Hey, Jim Jets, good to see you. RL, good to see you. Damo, and stoked you guys are here. But I wanted to show this to, sorry, I forgot I got to be on this side. I wanted to show this to Daniel Netz, because he's like the first guy who gave me a super chat. And in the super chat, he goes, go buy a better mask, or a new mask. So this is my new mask. Ever styling. Hey mate, missing Thailand, want to be there. Weather in Australia is cold and wet. That's right. So it is. It's May now. Yeah, today's either Friday or Saturday. But I do know, yeah, it's May. That's right. And so you're. Does that mean you're going into your winter, or you're in it a couple of months? Hey Clay, good to see you, man. That's totally awesome. I owe you a stream window, don't I? That was a technical disappointment the last time we tried that, but oh well. But along those lines, what I was thinking about as I was up in the condo, I had to come out to get some food and stuff. Going into winter, okay. And I thought to myself, man, when I was first in radio, I fantasized about someday I would be hanging with the big boys and I would be in TV. And then I got into sort of a station format that's sort of common, which is they own an AM and an FM and a TV, right? So I got into that, and that was sort of my last gig in San Diego. And so we had a TV station there. But even in 1997, I think that's when I started there, maybe 96, 97, to be in my back pocket, I mean, it's just amazing, right? And and then, you know what? This thing is telling me that I've got like 700 kilobits a second. So yeah, it looks like I'm pretty pixelated. So anyway, I'll tell you what, you guys just let me know if you want me to stop, and I'll totally stop, because I've got plenty. I've got 3 of these things for food, and I've got my mansum. So if you miss Thailand, I don't know how badly you missed your Mansum. But I saw those today, and basically the reason I bought it was like 2 for 30 baht, 2 for $1. Where is the ice cream man? That's actually a great question, dude. That's actually a really great question. I wasn't able to go out for ice cream. Although I did pass a bunch of people that had, you know, those stalls where they sell like the fresh fruit. And I thought, man, I should totally get some fresh fruit. And I'm like, no, dude. I like freaked out a month ago and I bought 2 months worth of food. So I have like an unlimited supply of apples in my house. I'm like, I got to get rid of some of those first before I reward myself with more mango. I don't know if I can move that without freezing it. I kind of want to move the chat to the other side, but I think for right now, RL says I can show you how to get a better setup for streaming. Well, on my mobile device, that would be interesting. I've actually tried, and I'm not saying don't do that. Please do it. Cleanse on your system and the internet. Absolutely. So right, a Huawei Honor 7, which is this, and the reason that I'm using that sort of lower, like $100 phone for the video is because when I use StreamLabs, I'm basically using Slobs, the app, on my phone. Because if I use that or I use Camerify on my more powerful, ideally faster Google Pixel 2 XL, the thing heats up. Whereas this thing, when it's doing like live streaming video like this through Wi-Fi over to my phone that is being tethered, it doesn't heat up. So go figure. Now I tested this in the condo, and actually in the condo I got less than, I'm getting like 4 full bars, if you will, right? On the what do I want to say here? On the signal level, I guess, basically. But that said, I am absolutely not against you giving me any suggestions on it. Not bad at the moment, but freezes occasionally. Yeah, I anticipated that. I actually had, normally, right, I would do 3,500 kilobits a second, and I brought it down to 2,500, and it still gave me some issue. And now I'm at 1,500. I'm peaked at 1,500, so the quality of the video is not going to be that great, but yeah, I don't know a thing about streaming. Can do with a cell phone. Yeah, Caesar, so basically here's the deal, is as long as I've got the bandwidth, right, then there's plenty of apps I can put on my phone. But anyway, if you guys have streamed before and you know of OBS, then you know potentially of StreamLabs OBS or Slobs, and I'm using that app on my phone right now. So anyway, let me see if I can. I actually can't go up on the comments, so if I miss some of your comments, I apologize. I'm trying to do that to the best of my ability, which is why I kind of wanted to add it there. But I think I got most of you guys. And again, I know Caesar's up. It's like midday here in Bangkok, right? And just so we're clear, I actually picked the hottest time of the day to come outside. It's about 3:30 here. And I think when I looked on my little thermometer thing on my phone, it said it was 94, but it feels like 106. And I agree. It's hot and humid, and I couldn't be happier. Of course, the gardener that's on the other side, which actually I think if I do this, then you can see them potentially over there. Maybe in the, can I do that? Oh yeah, I can zoom, cool. So anyway, so she's over there. But of course, if you know anything about Thailand, then you know that she's wearing like full clothing. she's got like, I mean, down to her fingertips, she has gloves, and then she has full on sleeves, and she has a head thing and everything. She is not getting any sun. And I remember the first time I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, aren't you dying? I mean, it's so warm. You're like wearing, foul weather gear. So anyway, yeah, so RL, so if you use OBS, then you know exactly what I'm using on my 94 feels like hell. And dude, trust me, I absolutely get that. And I understand that my perfect temperature is not probably as common as what most people think. Every car does have aircon over here. In fact, you know what's funny about that? Hold on, I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So if I go back up, okay, so I got, the last comment I see, guys, is I use OBS by RL. So if there's anything behind that I missed, I apologize. Don't be shy. Throw your comment up there again if you think I'm ignoring you, because I absolutely am not intentionally. So, Caesar just got back from a motorbike ride. Awesome, dude. Where'd you go? I mean, do you like stay in the city? I mean, there's not that much traffic. Although I did go outside and I did see like some traffic. So, but it's store to car to home air conditioning. Yeah, I mean, it can be. I actually try and not do that. I like the girls who try. Absolutely, dude. That's my motivator. Why do you like it when it's so hot? Because the girls wear less, dude. 1457F in Adelaide. Yeah, that's anything below 70 degrees, dude. I'm like, I want a refund on my property taxes. Like that is just too cold for me. I don't dig it. Oh, Foodland and Burger King. You know what's funny? I love Burger King, and I know that sounds odd. Okay, I don't love it. I love Ruth's Chris. I appreciate Burger King, and it's like a decent, fast food burger. Layered clothing keep you cooler when it's really hot outside. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I remember like when it gets up to a certain temperature, dude. I mean, there's just nothing you can do. Asa says I need a good live streaming app for my iPhone. Do this, Jason. Try Camerify, because your buddy there in Cebu, what is it, Chris in Cebu? He did a live stream, and I think he was using Camerify, and I think he has an iPhone, and I think it works pretty well on there. For the most part, most apps, especially if they're common in this part of the world, they're going to come out on the Android platform earlier. But if they're very US-centric, then they always come out on iPhone, or they come out at the same time. But a lot of times the updates for the iPhone occur more frequently because they have to. Apple is pretty stringent about the quality of your stuff that gets up there. So, tried to order a Whopper without cheese, but got cheese. Need to work on that. How would you? I can't remember because I know if I want, it's not my one. That means not sweet. I can't remember what no cheese is. Yeah, Chris in Cebu was using that, and if I use it on my Pixel, my Google phone, it heats up like crazy. If I use it here on my Huawei, on the Honor 7A, then it doesn't heat up as much. But Slobs, for some reason, that app on my Huawei phone, like barely heats the thing up. Like the only reason this thing's warm right now is just because of ambient temperature, and it's going Wi-Fi to my phone. So anyway, yeah, so Foodland, that's cool. For where I'm at, basically the closest place is True Digital Park, if you know where that is, if you know Sukhumvit 101. And so I just went over there for some, I don't know if you like this stuff, if you ever had these guys, Wok Station. I believe it's a Singapore company, and they're a chain, but I dig it, man. I think the food's like really, really good. So I got like 3 of those, and what's funny is I had to get out of the house. In fact, Rob was giving me a hard time, right? Because I was like texting him stuff and everything. He goes, dude, stop. Get on your shoes. Get the heck out of the house. You need a real life. And I'm like, yeah, there is that. But I took a picture of myself at the mall, so I think he feels like I'm not a complete loser. But unless you're lactose tolerant, then I understand. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, first world problems, dude. I wanted a Whopper, but I wanted it without cheese. What did a Whopper? Did you just get a Whopper, or did you get the combo? I mean, I think the combo, guys, here at like a Burger King it's like 350 baht. I mean, it's like $11 for a Whopper combo. I mean, it's just crazy. Jim says, so cold in Melbourne. I was meant to be in Bangkok tomorrow. Yeah, trust me, dude. I'm really psyched for tomorrow because ideally what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Lumpini Park, which is hopefully going to finally be open because I got to get outdoors and something. I mean, if it were up to me, I would get a backpack and I would get on a bus and I would go down to Cha Am and I would just hang out at the beach for the next 4 days. But anyway, and you can always tell the traffic is kind of, when you're hearing it, it's like starting to come up. It's not having your way anymore. Combo was $6. A Whopper combo was $6. That's a good deal, dude. I'm used to paying like 300, I think. So 180 baht, that's a pretty good deal. Gold Coast, right on. Yeah, starting to cool down. 24 today. 24 is not too bad. I mean, I will rarely put my AC on below 25 or 26. But yeah, for 24, I could totally handle that. I've heard, guys who are in Australia, I've heard about so many great places that are over there. I really want to get down there, when I'm allowed to, right? I mean, I get the whole, like, look, dude, if you're not one of our citizens, you're coming in from another country, hold off on a little bit. That's totally fair, right? 200 baht total with no upside. Nice, dude. That's very cool. Um, Oily fries, can't eat side. Oily fries. God, that's disappointing, dude. Where did you go? Was it up on Sukhumvit? On like middle to higher Sukhumvit? Because I'm down here on lower Sukhumvit. And I'm trying to think the closest big Burger King for me, I think, is I think it's like there's a Central Mall, maybe. I can't remember. So, okay, cool. Again, I wanted to make sure that I'm not missing some of these comments, guys. So I apologize for the distraction, possibly. McDonald's has 2-for-1 burgers, COVID special. So you know what's crazy? So I go to, I noticed that when we were in Thailand, things like Burger King were not any cheaper than home. No, in fact, if you come over to Thailand and you're one of these guys that like watches a ton of the monthly costs of Thailand, and you're like, you know, thinking about these guys that are like, oh wow, he paints a pretty good picture, I could totally live over there for $1,000, and then absolutely not. If you want to buy Western food, you will not spend 30,000 baht. You'll spend a lot more than that. I did hardly anything this last month in April, and I still spent 1,400 baht. Now, again, you know, I mean, Gracie's in the Philippines. It's just she needs money to live there. And, you know, if you know anything about having a girlfriend that's from another culture, we're kind of expected to pay for stuff. And I get that. I do that. I want to do that. I don't necessarily want Gracie to have to, you know, work in a field, because her parents have a farm, and they've got enough field for her to put her to work all day long. Caesar gets BK getting sloppier all the time. I'm looking for alternatives. So there are some pretty awesome gourmet burger places here, dude. I'll tell you what, just go to the Grab app and type in burger. And there are some really, there it is. Oh, Precus Emerald, sorry, 44. All right, awesome, cool. Come to the Gold Coast, same weather. Oh, dude, I'm totally doing that. Hey, is the Gold Coast, is that the city? I've heard people say, like, they're from Australia and there's this one city, and there's some people that have been to the US and they're like, oh yeah, this city's a lot like San Diego, like the weather. Is that Gold Coast or is that Sydney? Because I mean, the latitude, right? The distance away from the equator, you know, San Diego's like that far north, and maybe Sydney or maybe Melbourne or something like that. No, not Melbourne. Anyway, I'm not quite sure what it was, but my buddy, who's Australian, who is actually he's the CEO of WD-40. I'm sure you guys have heard of WD-40. You know, everyone has WD-40 underneath their kitchen sink or in their garage. Anyway, so Gary, my buddy, he's from Australia, and if you don't know, the corporate headquarters for WD-40 is in San Diego, and so Gary, he'd be like, oh, Mike's the weather here. It's exactly, and trust me, sorry. I'm not doing that to make fun of you. I'm doing that to try to do my best Gary Ridge accent that I can, Australian accent. So anyway, that was probably quite imperfect, but I did my best. Yeah, alternatives. Yeah, totally. But yeah, that was actually the way that I found some other burger places, is on the Grab app. Damo says, last visit I spent about 80,000 baht in 10 days. Thai burgers are better, but a little pricey. Yeah, for sure. So 80,000 baht in 10 days. Yeah. Well, I mean, are you including your hotel room? Because, you know, I mean, 8,000 baht a day, dude. I mean, it depends where you are. I can tell you that my first time in Pattaya, I spent well over 10,000 baht a day for several days in a row, because I'm like, oh my God, they like me. And they're everywhere, right? And so, you know, I was younger, and that was not what I was used to in the West, or in California. That was not what I was used to. So I spent more money than I should. I was a 2-week millionaire. I don't know if I spent 1 million baht in 2 weeks. Maybe. My hotel was pretty stupid expensive. Not including hotel and flight. Yeah, so I mean, 8,000 baht a day. I mean, just in cash, right? I mean, yeah, it's not insane. I mean, dude, if you're doing, it depends what you're doing. I mean, I'm not, you know, going to judge you or anything, but I can tell you, if you were doing similar things that I was doing, which was having, let's label them daily friends, you know, those were 4,000 baht sometimes. So, and you know, when I was first in Thailand, and I was at a hotel, and I'm like, oh my God, this room is only 150 bucks a night. That's free compared to San Diego. My God, the tax on some of my rooms when I was in Vegas, it was like $75. I mean, you know, so it's just crazy. Uh, the bar girls like me. No, no, no. Trust me, dude. They like you. They like you. They like you because you have money. But actually, I mean, if you're a decent guy, they probably do like you, right? I mean, bought a large Whopper meal in Angeles, Philippines today, 234 pesos. That's actually a pretty good deal. That's what? That's like $5. No, it's less than that. It's like 470. That's pretty good, dude. Whopper getting too much like McDonald's. That's precisely why I like Burger King, dude, because the Whopper, McDonald's doesn't even touch the Whopper. And, yeah, pay them to leave. The burger's like, that's pretty funny. My friend and I are searching for the best burger in Bangkok. If you want a third on that team, I will absolutely join you. Hyatt second floor patio. It's a bit. Hyatt second floor. Okay, yeah, I know where that is. So you mean the one at Nana, like where you get off and you get off the BTS at Nana? I've done. There's a steak place that's right near there, right when you get off kind of the BTS walkway and you walk into sort of that area, and there's that coffee place. So yeah, big steak selection. Okay, well maybe we're talking about the same spot. Had some clingers, sure. I mean, dude, look. In the Philippines, they don't flame broil the burgers at Burger King. Yeah, there is an escalator. Okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so maybe we've been at the same spot. And what does Dead Farang say? Bar girls can't eat love. I love that one. His videos. Okay, is that guy from Australia or from New Zealand? And I know that I potentially just offended the Australian guys. I'm sorry if that's one of those like Australian New Zealand faux pas. But unfortunately, from my ear, I can't tell the difference between a New Zealand and an Australian accent. So I'm sorry about that. That's my ignorance, and trust me, I'm not trying to be a wise ass or anything. But some clingers. That's some clingers. They don't flame broil their burgers? That's absolutely, like, totally weird. Melbourne, Australia. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's number one. All right, cool, man. I will, I mean, I guess I could go over there right, well, no, I guess they probably don't do takeout right now, right? I could go over there right now is what I was going to say, meaning I could get on the BTS with my kick-ass mask and head over to Nana and check it out, but they're probably, they probably got some spacing going on. Do Thai girls like handicapped men, Clay? So at the end of the day, dude, when you say Thai girls, I'm going to assume for the moment you mean girls that aren't bar girls. Because bar girls will basically like any person who gives them money. That's why they're there. They're not at a bar to, work on their calculus or improve their career, that sort of thing. They're there to earn money, to bring it back to their family. And, one could argue that we could label them doing anything for money, right? I mean, they're selling their bodies, sort of. So anyway, Thai girls like people who are good to them. And now, I mean, again, you could meet a Thai girl and she could be like, oh, I'm a rock climber, and you could be like, oh, well, I can't do that because I have like bad fingers and I can't, or whatever, right? So, I mean, there's plenty of that that could be the case. It depends on, what they want. But no, in general, they absolutely, they are more apt to want to take care of a guy than I would say Western women. Let me just throw that out there. Anyway, Melbourne, Australia. Thanks, Jim. Thank you, thank you, Damo, and thank you, Jim. New Zealand people are the ones who like to have relationships with sheep. Because if you bring them up to the ledge, they push back. Right? I heard that joke from someone a long time ago. So inappropriate. I heard from a good beef market on 33. Foodland isn't bad. The ground beef is very lean. Yeah. Oh, so that's a good point. And is that good beef from New Zealand or Australia? Because I can tell you the best cheese I've found, I believe, Swiss, it depends on the cheese. I mean, my favorite cheese is Dubliner, and that's from Ireland. But yeah, I think my favorite Swiss cheese over here, I think that's from New Zealand. I'm not 100% sure. Caesar says, I think bar girls are very humble and affectionate, even for weirdos like me. Ha ha. Yeah, absolutely. Why not, right? I mean, look, dude. It's like, I will say this, guys, and I hope you agree with this, because many of you are Western dudes. The whole stigma that working girl has in the United States, I think we'll all agree that it's nothing like that in Thailand. I mean, it is, it doesn't necessarily hold the respect of maybe, a pediatrician if you bring her home to meet mom. But I mean, I tell you, I got a lot more open-minded about it, and a heck of a lot less judgmental. And I'm like, look, if you're doing this and you're doing okay, yeah, whatever. And it's just different. It's just much different than the way that certainly I grew up, which one could argue, but as far as the universe goes, I'm overpaid. So, but yeah, it seems like the good beef is from, I'm going to say Australia. I can't remember. I used to listen to a radio station all the time in Pattaya, Kiss 91.75, and they always had a commercial for kind of like a Western market, right? Or maybe it was an Aussie market, and they would have like cheese and beef and that sort of thing, and sausage and all the stuff you really can't get over here. Well, you can now, but like 10 years ago, it was really hard to get. Caesar says, delicious cooked in butter, no complaints. Dude, what isn't delicious cooked in butter? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like lobster just by itself is, it's an okay, fish. Fish. Oh my God, shellfish, I guess, okay. Crustacean, right? But you dip lobster in like melted butter, and somehow that lobster just got a whole lot better, right? Oh man. Massage is therapy. It is. It absolutely is, dude. And I mean, it can also, it can be good and it can be bad, right? I mean, there's a continuum of imperfection. But I think we're all sort of on the same page. We probably all like Thailand, certainly for the first 10 days we're hanging out with the 80,000 baht. Millionaire, right? Butter. I need to try Thai clams with melted butter. Thai clams. I'm trying to think whether I ever had those. Maybe not. I don't think anyone on here is from Boston, but like when you grow up in Boston, you have these things. It's like fried clams. They're called steamas or steamers, and they would be steamed clams. And a lot of times you would just take the bellies and everything out of the clam, and you would literally just like dunk it in batter, and then you would huck it into a deep fryer, and those would be your fried clams. And you refer to them as steamas. Butter kicks it up a notch. Absolutely, dude. You put butter on anything, and it's good to go. Wild horses couldn't drag me out of here. Caesar, I get it. Believe me. And I, as you guys know, I mean, my mate, right, my partner, my asawa is Gracie from the Philippines. But she and I love Thailand, and so it's transitioned, right? I mean, I've gone from loving Thailand for sort of the reasons we were referring to, and not the burgers at Burger King, to loving so many other things about it. I mean, the infrastructure, I mean, you compare it to the Philippines, in my opinion. I mean, and you can lob anything into infrastructure you want. I mean, yeah, if you just do the internet comparison, but then there's medical and the roads and the bureaucracy. I mean, it's different. It's a little bit more efficient. It's imperfect, but again, I'm a big fan of Thailand. And although I'll tell you, Vietnam, very close second. I was there 2 years ago. Gracie and I were there for all in probably almost a month. And I was amazed. Blew me away how advanced they were based on what I thought it might be, but also how entrepreneurial they are. Now, if they could just get a banking system that allowed Western money to get in and out of there with less nonsense, and if they really went outside of Vietnam and really tried to hustle and get some like, Series A, that's difficult to do when you're from Vietnam. I mean, you show up in the valley and you're like, oh yeah, we've got a Vietnam company, and they're like, what? Just forget it. So if you say you're from a Singapore company, they're like, okay, yeah, I get that. I just got a thumbs up on Facebook from William. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. William, if you don't know, is Philippines On Demand. And he is doing a live stream tomorrow. So to let you guys know, so Rob and I, 20 Seconds in Thailand, Rob and I are going to do a live stream show regularly, once a week. Right now, This will be the second Sunday in a row. We're going to do it around 9 o'clock in the morning, Bangkok time on Sundays. And we're going to stream on all the channels that I stream on, as well as his YouTube channel. And it's going to be kind of like a radio show, basically. It's just him and I, like, kind of going back and forth because, A, we like to hang out, but we also believe that when we hang out, like, the product of that is mildly entertaining. You guys are a lot more used to me doing live streams for the more recent time. But Rob's guys are not used to him doing live streams. And some of them, I mean, it's a very small percentage, but they comment. Some of them do not like live streams. Hate live streams. Hate the fact that I, like, actually use a microphone that sounds good. Don't particularly like the fact that I'm a DJ. They think I'm riding on Rob's coattails. That's fine. I get it. And to be fair, it's Rob's family basically protecting him. So that's, like, pretty awesome, right? I mean, so I get it. They're Rob followers. And they don't want another white guy with no hair showing up. And their impression is that I'm trying to, you know, and I'll do live streams all day long by myself. If you guys have seen any of them, you know that for me to talk for several hours at length it's not a challenge. So it's not like I need a color guy, you know, to basically say, okay, well, there's going to be dead air for a while Mike thinks of a topic. No, I'm pretty good. Thai clams are A's. That's good to know. I didn't know they were like garlic cooking in it is also good. You know what? It's funny. Like, there are so many people that, like, add garlic to stuff, and I understand the potential health benefits from it. I kind of believe that. But for some reason, for me, onions and garlic, it doesn't mix. It's one of those deals where, yeah, you can say, yeah, you have bad breath. For whatever reason, I got this thing where, like, if I eat, and this is like raw onions, if I eat them, it's almost like the oils or whatever of the onion, like, ooze out through my face, like I'm sweating onion. And it smells like bad onions. So I stay away from onions. Now, grilled onions, I love all day long. And to be fair, grilled garlic is really good too. So that's good. I'll have to try those. That's really good. Oysters and fritters are killer if you can find them. Oysters and fritters. Now, a fritter is basically a kind of a ball of dough, right? Isn't that true? Working on your own recipe, but not canned. Caesar, I'm stoked to try that, dude. Damo says I like pizza. The pizza company in Phuket. It's still classes as Thai food if it's served in Thailand. Absolutely. So the pizza company is, I would submit, do you think it's about on par with, like, say, Pizza Hut, like in the United States or something like that? It's a chain, you know. The pizza's not bad, but, you know, I prefer the mom and pop places that make, like, there's this one place just right across the street, actually right over there. They make, you know, these signature, you know, pizzas. It's not Brig Oven, but it's still pretty darn good. Want to do Philippines, but not yet. Yeah, I hear you, Caesar. I'm right there with you, man. It's not for a while. I will tell you, because at the end of the day, yeah, there's a big financial crisis happening right now, but one could argue that it's sort of fueled by and centered around a medical crisis. And if I'm going to have a medical issue, I want to be here in Bangkok, because I could literally walk out to that cab that is 13 meters to my left. I could get in that, and I could literally just say, Bumrungrad. And he would take me to Bumrungrad, which is one of the best hospitals in the world. I can give him my insurance card and be like, fix me. Like, I don't care what you think is wrong with me, fix me. And that scenario does not occur in the Philippines. And I'm happier here if I get sick. How do you make crispy fried chicken? Hot or oil? Good point. Absolutely. That's a great point. It'll be like Mark and Brian. So if you guys know what Asia Unscripted Jason is referring to. So Mark and Brian, and they're some of my heroes because I'm a huge fan of K-Rock in Los Angeles. And yeah, those guys are actually pretty cool. Kevin and Bean were my favorite. If you want to know, like, morning show guys, they were pretty good. Everyone has their niche. This country and culture is so huge. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm joking, by the way. Good. I like joking. Pizza company in Vietnam had durian topping on its pizza. Whew. I suppose if you cook it, it wouldn't be so bad, but I am not a durian guy. I have tried it. I've even, you know what, actually, the best kind of durian I ever had, and it was probably chemically induced, was a durian popsicle. So I was in 7-Eleven and I pulled it out and I didn't read the label. And I'm like, oh, cool, lemon. So I ate this durian thing and I'm like, God, this really tastes, and then I read it. I'm like, oh, yeah, no wonder it smells like socks, you know, but it tastes like okay. Durian topping. Fritter is a batter oyster pancake based on tapioca flour. Nice. Served with sprouts, crispy edges in the first. I love sprouts, and it's not just because I'm Southern California. I don't own a pair of Birkenstocks, but I really like sprouts, and I'm from Southern California. So Caesar says, what about Emperor Hudson? I'm actually not totally clear what you're referring to. I actually don't know what that is. So if it's a cool joke, please let me know. Um, Clay says, with no insurance, what would it cost to have a leg amputated here in Thailand? So I would submit to you that you would, I mean, again, I'm not a doctor. So if you're like, I've been to the best specialists and they say that amputation is the best course of action, then I'm like, okay, you know what? I know this is going to sound crazy, Clay, but literally, like, you can go to the hospital's websites, and I'm not going to say they're going to have amputation on there, but they absolutely have the prices of what stuff costs there. I mean, it is, you know, I mean, with dentists, obviously it's a little easier, you know, root canal costs this, or, you know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to say you could probably get that done with some aftercare without, I mean, whether it's you have insurance or not, it doesn't matter, it's the same price. You're probably looking at, I want to say at least $10,000. Now, again, in my mind, I'm not necessarily thinking about Bumrungrad. I mean, Bumrungrad is one of the best hospitals in certainly all of Southeast Asia, easily in the top 5. I believe the best hospital in the world, one could argue, is probably in Singapore. But Bumrungrad is pretty epic. And then there's another like 9 epic hospitals here. So, but literally, dude, I mean, if you want, I'll send you a list of their websites, and you can just go on the website, or you can send them an email and say, I need to have my leg amputated, and here are the conditions, and like, what would this cost? And they would probably quote you. I mean, it's actually, it's pretty nice. It's kind of refreshing. Versus, well, we got to see. I mean, look, I get it. If they have to, you know, and all of a sudden there's all this cancer, and then they need to treat that. I mean, I get that there's complications. But that, again, is one of the things. So I would say, in your mind, you probably need to say, I need at least $10,000. I would just throw that out there, and anyone else could get, my guess is about 1/2 of what the tower, to 1/10 of the USA. I would totally agree with you, dude. Totally agree with you. Oh, before Wolfman Jack? Seriously? That was, okay, nice. I smelled durian in Big C, but couldn't smell the bad smell. Interesting. But then the area smelled bad walking back over to it. So yeah, I mean, it does have sort of an ambiance, right? You guys have probably been in hotels where, like, literally they'll let you bring your dog in there, but they have a big sign with a red line and this, no durian. Bring your Saint Bernard in here and let him, like, you know, all over the place, but do not bring any durian in there. And Caesar, you said Los Angeles, but oh, famous radio guy in the '60s. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. Before Wolfman Jack, yes. Ah, hello from Ireland. Good to see you. Hey, maybe you know this. I believe this is where it's made, but Dubliner cheese, I know that's a completely odd thing to say, but Dubliner cheese is my favorite cheese. Is that from Ireland? I believe it is. Might be less than $1,500 to have a leg amputated. I mean, it depends where you go, dude. I mean, you can go to a state-run hospital, and if you don't mind waiting, I mean, a lot of times the doctors that work there are the same ones that work at the really expensive private hospitals. So yeah, you're right. I mean, you could probably get it done. Seen a lot of videos on YouTube about guys going to hospital for little things, and it is dirt cheap, but big things still get expensive by the sound of it. No cancer. Good. It's good to hear, man. Talk about rolling the dice and ending up with snake eyes. I mean, boy. It's not like I mean, I get like why like potentially some people who are chronic smokers, they get lung cancer. I get that. But my buddy's wife got lung cancer. He was the one that smoked cigars all the time. She never, and he would like go do it with his buddies, like not in the house or with the kids. It wasn't like a secondhand smoke thing. And she got lung cancer, and she never smoked a day in her life. So, you know, it's almost like a crapshoot. But talk about 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. No alcohol in supermarkets normally in Thailand. So that's interesting. Hold on. I want to make sure I read that correctly. 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. no alcohol. Yeah, you know what? I think I heard that. I think I heard about that. But I don't want to. Yeah, VA is free, but I don't want to go back to the U.S. I get that. And again, I will tell you, in San Diego, like our VA, from what I've heard from my buddies, it's actually not that bad. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. I've heard some horror stories about guys going to the VA, which, again, you kind of only hear those stories because you're talking about horror stories in general. Okay. So I'm not saying that the VA is like a bad solution, and thank God it's at least there. Okay. But you know, for people to like fight for my freedom basically, and then be like, oh no, we're not going to do, dude, come on, allocate the money, increase my taxes. Okay. Please make the VA good. Or at least a little bit better than I've heard. So just gonna throw that out. Thank you, Restream. I've got 100 messages today. So this is interesting, right? So I'm doing this at like, you know, basically 4 in the afternoon, and I'm getting a lot of chat, which is cool. I'm like hanging out with you guys from Australia, which is really cool. That doesn't usually happen when I'm doing stuff at 9 a.m. here. So that's pretty cool. But one thing that's not cheap is dental implants. Like a lock on the price. You know, Caesar, it's interesting you say that. I think maybe I've shared on this before, but one of the things that Gracie and I did, let's see. No, it wasn't implants, but we were looking at the price of those. And I would say that the price of implants here in Thailand was still cheaper than Mexico. And obviously living in San Diego, as you might guess, you know, I have many friends that are like, dude, I'm going across the border for my dental care. And I'm like, screw you, dude. I said, because at the time, you can get a round trip ticket from Los Angeles to Bangkok, hopping through Taipei, for like about $1,000. So I'm like, no, dude, trust me, fly to Thailand, spend a week or 2 in Bangkok, get your dental work done, and then come back, because not only will you get it for at least the same, if not cheaper, but you'll be able to spend a week or 2 in Bangkok. Gracie and I did that. She was here for 2 weeks, had 2 root canals, and so 2 crowns. And one of them was in front, you know, so it was like, I mean, in the back ones, you can get the crowns that aren't, you know, super sexy. But in the front, you basically got to have it made out of high quality material that matches the same tint as your teeth, right? So, but yeah, it was, I mean, I think a root canal was $110, dude. And this dentist we went to, it was epic. It was off. I think it was off on Nut, Caesar, if you know where that is. I'm sure you know where on Nut is. So Sukhumvit 77, right? And it was like 4 stories. The first floor rather, was the reception, and you know, they had nice music and all that, and it smelled nice and everything. Everyone was dressed appropriately, and they take nice care of you, and they give you water and the whole thing. Then the second floor was basically like cosmetic dentistry, and so they would pretty much just clean your teeth. Third floor, they had X-rays and everything, and then on the 4th floor, there was like implants and everything like that. It was a totally epic solution, and I don't know whether they. I mean, I guess I've had this in the U.S., but I'll never forget. Gracie left, and she goes, "Oh yeah," so she gives me the paperwork. I'm like, "Oh yeah, our receipts, that'll be good." She goes, "No, this is my warranty." I'm like, "Wait, what?" She goes, "Yeah," because they told me that I have a 2-year warranty on the stuff I got done. I said, "Well, that's pretty cool." I said, "You know, I mean, I would encourage you to take care of your teeth, but you know, if your crown falls off when you're flossing or something like that, then well, twist my arm. Let's go back to Bangkok, right?" There is a VA in the Philippines, yeah. Caesar says 44,000 baht is the same as Newport Beach. Oh, and so that's for an implant? Yeah, I can't tell you how much an implant is. Wait, you're telling me an implant in Newport Beach is $1,300? That's really cheap, dude. I got a crown in San Diego. It was almost $2,000. So that's a really good deal. And Newport Beach, that's not free to live there. That's interesting. Wow. RL says, I can't watch live streams because it's like 3 a.m. Yeah, so, and that, because, so his streams are like around 10 p.m., right? So they're going to be at 9 a.m., they're going to be at 9 a.m. Bangkok time. So that is 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. East Coast, and 9 a.m. here. What is that? 6 a.m. in like Sydney or Melbourne? I can't remember. One thing not cheap is dental implants. Like, yeah. So, okay. Again, I never have had one, so I've never paid for one, but I could have sworn I was like checking on the prices, and it seemed like all the dental work I got here, dude, was like literally a third of the price of what I would pay in San Diego. And that's with or without insurance, right? Because obviously when you have insurance, they raise the price. But if you're paying cash, they lower the price. So at the end of the day, it's the same money out of pocket for you, you know? So, Kevin Thailand had his teeth done in Thailand. I remember that, yeah. For 5,000, but it would have cost 20. Yeah, totally, back in the UK. And we have those full mouth reconstruction things. Yeah, it's about 20 to 50,000, depending upon where you get it done in the US. But yeah, Texas seems to be a pretty common place for that in the U.S. 110, wow, great price. I got a Crown for 250. Yeah, Crown. I want to say, how much was my bill? Because I just got a cleaning and some like polish and stuff when I was here. So my bill was like, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 baht. It wasn't that much. Gracie's whole bill, I want to say was, I think it was like 15,000 baht. 2 root canals. And then of course, you know, you get the root canal, right? And then you wait a week and you take antibiotics and they make sure there's no infection. Then they put the permanent crown on. But man, they did a good job. I mean, I was really, you know, because I mean, how do you know, right? I mean, reading, you know, reviews on Google is like, well, I don't know. There's no like, you know, there's no medical sort of rating system over here. So I was like, okay. Hi, MB Mopar. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your comments. Philippine VA outpatient only. Interesting. Yeah, you definitely want inpatient for some recovery time on an amputation. I think 3 hours behind Aussie East Coast. Wait, 3 hours behind? So seriously, like, so at 9 in the morning, it's only noon there? Oh, that's perfect. 9 a.m. Australia, right? Because I was gonna say, wait, Jim Jets is usually on my street, so that's cool, right? So wait, hold on. What time is it there now? It's just only 7 p.m. there? Oh, dude, that's like easy. Nice work. Philippines on demand, nice setting, love it. Yeah, so this is basically the park. Let me see here. I'll give you a panning shot here for you with my caffeinated shaking arm. That is my building there in the back on the left, and then on the right is the second building. You can see like the little kids area over there, and then to the right, you can't see it actually. Farther to the right is the pagoda. In a place where you can, you know, pray and that sort of thing. And then they have like the fountain, the little fountain there. That thing's probably about a foot deep. And then there's my building in the background, which is basically the pool building. And this here is where I hang out. And I'll tell you right now, guys, I mean, I'm sweating and maybe I'm staining my shirt, right? But I can tell you, I love this temperature. It is definitely not too hot for me, but I'm sweating. I love it, dude. Hot and humid. I am so happy. I'm like a lizard. I mean, although they kind of like the dry heat, like on the rocks in the middle of the Phoenix desert. But this is like perfect weather. And I don't know whether it feels like 106. I mean, there's a nice breeze. Isn't that the cool part about Thailand, man? It can be like really hot out, and arguably 4 p.m. it's starting to cool down a little bit. Cool down, right? But it is with the little breeze. Oh man, look at me. I love it. I love everything about it. Of course, maybe you guys are like, yes, Mike, I'm sure you do. And let me guess, your girlfriend's not with you, which is why you look like a homeless person. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold the phone this way, long ways, and that way I can see your comments better. Caesar says, yeah, I got one on sale for that, but it was a little crooked. Grr. Do you mean a crown? Awesome. I hope that. I hope you're kidding. That's a drag. 3 hours, so that's good. That's great, Jim. Thank you. 7 p.m. right now. Okay, awesome. So you're 3 hours, and then Jim is 2 hours. That's really awesome, you guys. That's cool. Caesar says my area is rustic. Where you're oh, so you're living a little bit off Sukhumvit, right? I mean, I'm literally, well, hold on, maybe you can't see it, but like if you guys look behind me, those dark buildings, that's True Digital Park, and so that if that gives you an idea of like off of Sukhumvit 101 where I am. So anyway, it takes me about 8 minutes to walk to Sukhumvit, and then another 10 minutes or so on the BTS SkyTrain walkway to the Punawiti stop. So, I think if I refresh this, I'm gonna. I missed the comments. All right, if I miss any, guys, please feel free to put it up there. I'm sorry. We were there in August, and it was hot, but never a problem. August is not bad here. Again, sorry, bad, good, relative, right? August is not the hottest month here. You'll get more rain depending upon where you are. But right now, the beginning of May, I mean, April and May are pretty much the hottest months here. And usually by now, it's at least rained like for a full day. But man, Bangkok is getting no rain this year. Caesar, have you lived in the city? I know, because I've been here, of course, but I have not lived here like full time, like year round. And I think you've lived here for several years. Are you noticing that there is significantly less rainfall this April and May than there was? Because I was here last April. Oh, in fact, maybe that was when we got our teeth done. I can't remember because you know how like Facebook reminds you, hey, this happened, 2-3 years ago, whatever. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Anyway, but I mean, we're getting, like thundering and lightning and, kind of a torrential downpour for, I don't know, like what, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes lately, Caesar? I don't know, man. It's been like nothing. And, I mean, like today, that gardener, I mean, she's out here and, yeah, she's raking stuff and everything, but also at least 50% of the time I've seen her walking around, she's manually watering all this grass. And, let's face it, in Southeast Asia, like Mother Nature should be handling this, right? So that's like, I don't know, I think there's significantly less rain this year, but so my pal has, did I seriously refresh that wrong? Guys, I'm messing the chat up. I totally apologize. Let me maybe go over to the YouTube channel to make sure I can see it. A pal has 2-meter cobras and turtles the size of a briefcase. Dude, that is awesome. Way out on Pecasset Road on the way to, not everybody. Okay, got it. Got a front tooth implant. Okay, cool. He lives by a swamp/jungle. Yeah, I mean, that, a lot of mosquitoes there. I heard about a drought. I missed the tragic floods of 2011. Yeah, it does seem like there's a drought. Like I hear basically every year in April there's a drought, and then of course Songkran happens, and if you're in Bangkok, then there's like a giant fire truck, and it's shooting literally hundreds of gallons per minute, thousands sometimes, like out of their fire truck all over the people on Beach Road, and you're like, there's a drought? But, and there's floods, right, in Pattaya almost every year. Sometimes it rains harder in one area than another. Yeah, that's okay. I kind of figured that. Another vlogger, if you guys don't know, Direction Bangkok, he's kind of in this area. He's down near the Udam Suk area, which is where I'm at. And he sent me a message. I think it was like our first rain we had here. And I was live at the time. And he's like, oh my God, huge rain right now. And he like went outside immediately because he goes like, I got to take video of this first rain. And I'm looking up my way. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. And I came and went. And even like 2-3 blocks away, pouring rain where he was at. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool, right? I have never been a rain that lasted more than an hour. In Bangkok, huh? Yeah, because I can tell you, like when I've stayed in Pattaya or Phuket seems to get a lot of rain, like for a long time, meaning like sometimes days. It'll dumb down to drizzle and then it'll get really intense. But yeah, for some reason here in Bangkok, it's been about, I want to say like noontime, and it'll rain like really hard for 20-30 minutes, and then it just kind of stops, and then maybe it'll come back for a little bit, and then it's gone, and then it's like bright and sunny like it is right now. And I don't know, I mean, like if you've watched any of my videos or heard me refer to it, energetic rain is what I like, because the rain we used to get in San Diego is so non-committal. It's like this low fog mist nonsense. It's like, give me a break. Like I don't even, if you're not going to commit to the water, because after this silly rain, I'm still going to hear we're in a drought because we're in Southern California and our water bill has to go up because we're buying all of our water from the Colorado River. And I was just like, dude, we have a containment issue here. Khao San Road flood to the curb once. I'm trying to think. So my first Songkran, I got to Bangkok first, and I did the Bangkok Songkran, and then it's kind of like towards the end of that couple days, I went down to Pattaya, which is when their Songkran started. And I remember I was at the JW, right? So like right around the corner from that is Nana. And on that road, like before you go into Nana Plaza, but like that road, I think it's Soi 3, maybe Soi 4. And totally all the way up to the curbs, flowing in. They had like sandbags. So not only was it Songkran, but there was like this crazy rain, and it was like really flooding. So that was really intense. RL says it's like that here in Queensland. Could be pouring here and drive down the road a bit, and it's dry and sunny, then it just stops. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool, right? I mean, I like the intensity of it. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I've labeled my life as 110% at 80 miles an hour in 4 directions at one time. And you could say, yes, Mike, that's not sustainable. Good luck with that. So just out of curiosity, a couple of you have been here since I started. And first of all, thank all of you for being here. But to the guys that have been here to the beginning, how's the video been in the last while? Like, in other words, have you noticed any sort of disappointment in it? I mean, other than the quality, I'm quite certain the quality's, it's probably not 720p. I mean, I can do math. 1500 kilobits a second is not going to be 720p. So it's probably 340. But anyway, I'm just curious. You know what I want to get back to is one of you guys made the comment about every car must have air conditioning. So I'm up remember I've talked before about my Thai girlfriend that I had at the time. Her name was Malie. And she had one of those like 4-door pickups. Hasn't frozen lately. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Frogs outside my porch get so loud when it rains. I have to close the door. Sounds like 10,000 frogs. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe you've had them for a while, but for me, dude, like when I hear, I don't know what they're called. Like not like they're like night crickets or maybe cicadas or something. And when it gets really, really humid at night and it's getting dark, they're like, you know, like that. And I open my windows. I open more windows. I just love that sound. So for me, the novelty hasn't worn off yet. Audio's clicking a little bit better. Okay, thanks. And again, I don't really know why that is, actually. It might, you know, it could be the phone. This phone has a fairly decent camera, but I think the microphone in it is not that great. This is one of these like $100, you know, dual SIM Huawei phones, and it's incredibly reliable. And it's just one of those ones that I buy on Amazon when I go back east, when I go back home. I throw it in my pocket, and then I basically just use it as my phone for Southeast Asia when I'm not in like the country that I'm in normally. Like right now, of course, my main phone, I've got my Thai SIM, but in here I have my backup data Google Fi SIM, and then I have my Philippine SIM in case I need to get SMS from the Philippines to like log into my bank account or something like that. Talking about rain, wouldn't it be funny if it started raining very hard there right now? So you know what, Clay? It actually would. It would be very funny, but I can tell you that I've been in Thailand long enough to know that there's 2 ways I know it's definitely going to rain. The first is it's not sunny. The second is that I just watch the behavior of the Thais. Because like you'll be walking down a market or I'll be walking down like through a market and I'll think, oh, this is pretty nice. Yeah, a little breeze, whatever. And all of a sudden, like all the awnings will start going in and all the Thais are like bringing their product in. I'm like, God, I wonder why they're, you know? So it's like they have this sense, you know? And so I'm not seeing any of them on the street, you know, getting ready, like running, saying, oh, I better get indoors soon. So hazy sky now, not dark. Yeah, total blue sky where I'm at, Caesar. That's like, well, wait, hold on. Can you tell from that? I don't know. Maybe you can't. Anyway. Yeah, famous last words, right? Everyone will be like, so Mike, like Caesar told you the rain was coming. Like, what the hell? Now you're bitching because your phone's all wet. Most of the Thais don't even use umbrellas. Totally. Yeah, RL, thanks, not bad. Appreciate it. Anyway, I want to get back to all the cars have AC. So I'm up in Nakhon Ratchasima, if you know where that is, Korat. This is at Malie's house. And it's in like the middle of nowhere, basically. If you've never been in the countryside of Thailand, this is like it. It's kind of on the southern part of Isan. And we're driving along and I look at the dash. Now, if you're from where I'm from, and you may have this in Australia or Europe too, you know, the knob, right? That's for like the temperature of the thing. There'll be like, you know, a stripe of red and it'll decrease and then it'll be a stripe of blue, right? So heater on the one side, air conditioning on the other, and usually there's the button to turn the AC on. And so I look down and I see that it's only got blue on it. And I think to myself, oh, does your car not have air conditioning? Is it basically just, you know, is it just like cool? And she goes, well, no, it's got air conditioning. So she just turns it all the way to the really thick blue. And then I'm like, oh, cool. I thought it just maybe I'm thinking to myself, oh, maybe the red part wore off or whatever. So then we're up early the next morning and we're driving into town and we're going to get some stuff. So I'm like, it's kind of a little chilly, right? It's November and it's in the middle of the village. And so I'm like, man, can you turn the heat on? And she's like, what? She like turns the AC all the way off and makes sure that the fan is off. And she goes, She goes, no, we'll be fine. And I said, well, no, come on. I mean, I know I'm a whip, but can we just turn the heat on? She's like, I don't have heat. Like, what do you mean heat? So I'm like, oh my God, I've been in a ton of cars. Since then, I'm now like acute to it. I've seen a ton of cars here in Southeast Asia. Malaysia, same thing. Philippines, same thing. We rented a rental car in the Philippines. No heat. All it's got is air conditioning. And I was like, God, that's so weird. But it's like, yeah, like, why would you bother putting the heating coil in? It's like, no, dude, like, you rip that out and just put in a bigger heat exchanger for the air conditioner. And I'm like, wow, a car with no heat. I mean, it's free energy, basically. I mean, the hot water is cycling through the coolant system anyway. It's like, why not just throw that in there just in case, you know, some wimpy guy from is like, oh my God, it's below 70, turn the heat on. So anyway, yeah, that's my interesting story about cars and air conditioning over here in Thailand. RL says he went to an Irish pub in Patong. Go figure. Yeah, go figure, right? Right there on Bangla. I think I know the one you mean, like from the beach up on the right. Isn't that where the midgets work? There's one where like there's the short people work. Flowing, a bit of blurry yet clear. Okay, yeah, it's gonna, so right now it tells me 1300 kilobits a second, poor connection, and then it'll bang up to the 1499, which is the highest I have it set on. So with any luck, I mean, I appreciate you guys watching, actually. This is sort of a test, and at the time I didn't think, oh my God, it's, you know, it's only 7 o'clock in Australia, Mike. So that's good. I really appreciate that. RL says, my old cars never had AC, but no heat. What? Yeah, no, dude, trust me. I saw that. I'm like, oh my God. But then I thought, well, it makes sense. I mean, you know, a cold day in Thailand is 70 degrees, right? I mean, it's like, whoa, what's going on? Or if the wind's blowing and it's raining, oh my God, the Thais freak out. They're like, I can't go to work. I might have to go out in the cold rain. Oh, man, kind of funny. No, we went to one on the Beach Road Irish pub. Right past Holiday Inn. I'm trying to remember where that is. Is that all the way down right before the street like takes a left and then you end up going past the Hard Rock? I haven't been there in a few years, so I kind of forget. Jesus, you get so used to the heat, if it drops to 70, it's a panic. Trust me, I'm right there, dude. It's not a panic, but it's a disappointment, that's for sure. Especially when I was in Southern California, because if you don't know, there's this belief in the United States that San Diego has perfect weather. And I'm like, absolutely not, dude, because May and June are horrible. They call it May gray and June gloom, and it's overcast, and maybe the marine layer will burn off by like 1 p.m., and then come like 4 or 5 o'clock around sunset, the marine layer comes back in, and it's like, ugh, I don't like it. I like Thailand. I like Southeast Asia. So... near McDonald's, near the middle. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Oh, right. I literally just pictured exactly where you were. Yeah, it's got like that outdoor area, and the kind of the main sort of restaurant is like set back a little bit from the sidewalk. I think I remember having like lunch there. It was like a late dinner or something like that. So anyway, what I love about that part of Thailand is the sunsets, right? Because it's like west facing. That's pretty awesome. When Gracie and I first got here, we lived in Cha Am for about a month. And it was neat because I wasn't used to being able to see sunrises over the water. So that was cool. It was a big motivation to get up early. And I mean, I'm definitely a morning person, like, you know, like Rike or Rob, if you guys know. I mean, both of those guys are like night owls, kind of. And you know what, to that point, since I have you guys here, first of all, I want to thank any of you, even if you didn't, that's fine too. But on my community tab, I just threw up a poll there to find out like what's the best live stream amount. And it seemed like for the most part, people were like, you know, 4 to 6 hours is sort of that was 50% of all the participants. They said 4 to 6 hours is the best. And then the next sample size, 25%, was 2 to 4 hours. So I'm like, okay, anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. These guys seem pretty happy about it. But to your point, if I can't watch his live streams because they're like in the middle of the night, Rob and I are thinking of doing this show Sunday mornings at 9, which is easy for me. I mean, I wake up at 6:30, right? So Rob's gonna have to set an alarm clock. And he was joking around. He said we're gonna call the show Rooster and the Night Owl, right? Because it's like I get up in the morning and you know he stays up all night. But so maybe my DJ name will be Rooster and his will be Night Owl, and we'll do this thing. But we were thinking about 2 hours. And the main reason we were thinking about 2 hours is because I think a lot of you guys are used to me talking for 4, 6. I mean, you were there for the 7-hour one. You were maybe there for the 9-hour one, whatever. But we were thinking about 2 hours because his live streams are maybe 30 minutes. But what I told him is I said, look, dude, your live streams are 30 minutes because you have a topic and you stick to it. And then when you're done, you're like, okay, I'm going to go. Whereas I'm like, okay, like, I have oxygen, I can still keep talking. And if these guys keep commenting, well, then I'll just keep replying, you know? So I love the interaction, by the way. If you don't know, one of the things I love about these live streams is not being able to hear myself because I don't have headphones. I can't hear myself. But it's like interfacing with you guys. So that's like really cool. So anyway, so let me know if you think 2 hours is good for Rob and me. And, you know, candidly, I'd actually be curious whether you think that Rob and me doing a live stream is going to be the same or better or just simply different than me doing a live stream by myself. Because I like to think that, you know, the guys that are part of this channel, like you guys, like we're all part of the Cool Kids table, right? So meaning that, like, you know, cool kids are traditionally pretty open-minded. We might be a little bit stuck up. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm not talking about the Cool Kids table like at high school or junior high where it was like, oh, no, you're not making me look good. You're a year younger than me. Little brother, you can't hang out with the big kids. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Cool Kids table. Like, we make the Cool Kids table because where our table is, everyone wants to be a part of it. And for the most part, if you're cool, then you cruise over and we're more than happy to, you know, bring you on. But I don't know. I think it'll add value. You know, I didn't get my feelings hurt when Rob's subs were like, nah, we don't want to see that guy, you know. But it was an interesting data point because many of Rob's subscribers are used to Rob doing a video that's been edited, not a live one. And, you know, I guess for me, you know, for the most part, certainly in the last month, I mean, you guys have seen me do live streams, so maybe you're like, hey, I might just, just do a live, whatever, dude. So maybe you don't care, and that's fine too. I just got a notification you were starting. My live stream right now, God, dude, I can't even tell you how much YouTube pisses me off. That is like such an issue. God, what a bummer. I just don't get it. I don't understand how YouTube, with arguably like the world's best computers, and of course, you know, they're all containers that they run, and I know how the Google Cloud platform operates, but I mean, how difficult is it to write a cron job that basically is triggered when, you know, when content creator creates video, notify 100% of the subscribers and just go, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But then again, no, I came because of the live stream, because of the notification. Thank you. Got it. Okay, cool. Good. Sorry, I didn't mean to misinterpret what you said. I didn't mean to. Caesar says, I've had jet lag for 15 years. Day is night, night is day. No worries. All right, that's cool. Good to know. I'm a Rob sub and came to you guys from there. Thank you, RL. That's really cool, man. So you think it's going to be, like, pretty decent? No, I mean, I came because of the live stream. Ah, awesome. Because of the notification. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's, you know what's going to be the biggest challenge? I mean, I know how to technically deal with this right away, but we're a little bit reluctant to do it because if you guys see, there's the chat. That's up there, right? Well, what Rob and I want to do is we want to take the chat that I have here and the chat that he has from his YouTube, put it together, and then each of us will be like on one side of the screen, you know, and then like the chat will be directly in the middle. And you can, if you don't know, you can turn on YouTube chat so there's a pause. So it's not just, you know, when there's like, and then there's a pause. It'll like go a certain amount so each person will see their chat, and then Rob and I can sort of interject. And then that way both he and I are like going after sort of the same chat view. So we're not missing people, and it's not like, oh, you guys only talked about Rob's people because his chat's bigger, or we only talked for Mike for a while because he's like this loudmouth DJ guy. And so we're thinking about doing that. The downside is the only way I can do that, because I'm basically the guy that originates the stream, and then we push it out from everywhere. So I push it to Rob's channel, I push it to my channel, I push it to Facebook, I push it to DLive, I push it to VK, I push it to Periscope, and all this, Twitter. And so to do that, Rob has to give me his password to his Google account to log into his YouTube. And I even told him, I said, look, dude, I don't think that's a good idea because you never know what's going to happen. And if a guy like Rob with 50,000 subs somehow accidentally cuts and pastes his password somewhere, and then obviously afterward he would, change it, I don't like that. That doesn't really scale. So we're going to have to find a better solution to that. If you don't know, I'm working on a solution of software with some of my developer guys to basically take all of the chat. Because right now, this chat there, it aggregates all of the chat from all the streams I go to, which is, for the most part, YouTube, but also some other ones. Like if someone were to chat on Facebook right now, it would show up. Twitch, same thing. And but again, what I can't do is I can't do that to Rob's YouTube channel as well, because I would have to basically be able to log into it. You know how you like log in with G Plus and you have to like log in with that account. So, but we're gonna figure that out because again, like I said, that's some of the thing that I really love, which is notification. Ma, how are you? Aloha. Here in Washington State, we will continue with the stay-at-home stuff until May 31st. Now, you're not a shelter-in-place area like California, right? I mean, you guys can like go out for medical supplies and groceries and that sort of thing, or do you also have a curfew? I can't remember what's going on. Clay says, same here on the jet lag for 3 years. Yeah, for whatever reason, I never get jet lag coming this way. I get jet lag when I would go back home. But, you could also argue that my body's like, look, dude, as much as you try and make it so, we're just simply not agreeing with you bringing back here in the United States. Get your butt back to the Southeast Asia. Which, again, I'm totally fine with. That was my global plan anyway. Sure, 2 hours is great. If we're able to carry broadcasts like a transitor radio could handle more, then I have an off button if I need to go. Absolutely. I completely appreciate that. Yeah. If you guys don't like my stream, I would appreciate if you tell me, but you're also welcome to leave. If you do like my stream, I would be honored if you share it with others. I don't have any sort of numeric goals any longer because I've got the 4,000 watch hours, and again, thank you guys for that big time. And I've also got over 1,000 subs. Again, thank you very much for that. Because that's not nothing. That's a big deal to me. Rob gives me shit because he's like, oh my God, you've got 1,000 subs, and you just like this virgin YouTube guy. And I'm just like, look, dude, I stood up in front of MTV Unplugged, okay? I mean, I've been in front of 10, 15,000 people, and I'm the only guy on the microphone. So I don't need the check boxes of numbers. I need the quality, not the quantity, So you guys are absolutely welcome to watch the stream if you're over on Rob's channel or come over here. I will tell you that there's a higher likelihood of you getting any sort of post answered quicker if you're on mine. Because, if you've seen Rob's live streams, I mean, he gets easily 150 people and they all start, sort of chatting, so it goes by. So you may have a better chance of being heard if you're on mine. So I'll just throw that out there. But again, thank you again for all the 4,000 watch hours and the 1,000 subs. Seriously, I really appreciate it. It's very cool. Oops, YouTube, wash hands. But Cal, good to see you, man. Irie, man. Absolutely, man. I went to Jamaica, and I'll tell you what, man, after I left that place, people would ask me questions, and I would answer. Back in St. Louis, the middle of the country, they would ask me questions, and I'd be like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, talk about blending in and wanting to bring it back. Good vibes. Absolutely, my friend. Totally. Good to see you. By the way, speaking of your stream, tonight the picture is not as clear as before. Yes, I know that, and I know the reason why, and I really apologize. So it will hurt my feelings if you leave because of that, but I totally get it. And the reason is because my internet is coming from my phone, and I am tethered to it. And while AIS provides me with unlimited data, for some reason where I am here right now, I'm getting about 3/4 of the full bar, which is 5 bars, right? So I'm getting 3 to 4 bars. So the fact that I'm pushing, 1.5 megabits a second, and obviously there's some latency that's going to occur there. So anyway, so I know that it's fuzzy. So I apologize for that. And trust me, it won't get any worse than this. How's that? The next time you see me online will be tomorrow morning, and it was better. So the smoker you get, haha. Yeah, there you go, right? Yeah. My smoker voice, is that coming out? I started smoking. Are you ready for this? I was 19 years old, And I started smoking because I wanted my voice to be deeper because I was on the radio. And the day that I started smoking significantly, I started smoking Marlboro Lights because girls smoked Marlboro Lights. And the live broadcast remote I was doing where I started smoking is called the Great American Smokeout. And it's like a day in October where like they try to get the American Lung Association, American Heart Association, whatever, American Lung Association. They try to get everybody in the United States to stop smoking for at least one day. They call it the Great American Smokeout. And I'm sitting there doing a live broadcast for this Great American Smokeout. And what would happen is people would come by and they would sort of pledge that, and this is on a college campus, they would pledge their, I'm not smoking today. We had this giant fishbowl and people would take their pack of cigarettes and they would throw their cigarettes into this fishbowl. So as you can imagine, after 3 or 4 hours of this live broadcast, you know, this thing's starting to fill up with cigarettes. And one of my friends who was really cute, she's from Morocco, Casablanca, she came by and she was a smoker. And she was like, okay, like, I'm from Casablanca. Like, I'm a foreign exchange student. Like, this whole United States not smoking for one day thing, that's interesting. But I'm stoked for all these free cigarettes. So she started picking through it for the Marlboro Lights, right? And what happens with smokers? Well, they go outdoors to have a cigarette. So I'm sitting there inside, and I got the DJ booth. And, of course, as the music's playing, you're not saying anything. And I see Fatima outside. Well, I want to spend time with Fatima. I don't really want to spend time with these listeners that were in the engineering building that were predominantly male. I'm like, I want to go talk to Fatima. And a great way to be able to talk to a smoker is to say, oh, yeah, can I bum a smoke? So that was my best pickup line when I was 19 years old. Hi, can I bum a smoke? And the rest is history. So what's on my chain? Do you mean this right here? So you're thinking of staying in, oh my God, I hope that didn't go away. Caesar, I totally apologize. I missed that as it was scrolling up and I can't see the chat. Gosh darn it. If you mean staying in, yeah, around my neck. Staying in Bangkok, I have a 1-year lease on a condo here in Bangkok only because I want to use it for I want to use it for like a central hub and then fly from everywhere here. That was my thinking. In Thailand as well as the Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, you know, some KL, maybe a little bit of Langkawi. I'm not a big fan of Malaysia, but I like 2 cities. But yeah, so this one right here, this is from Hawaii. And Gracie and I each have one of these. And it's just a symbol that we got, you know, from a bunch of guys that were surfing. And they were like making these, like their girlfriends were making them. And they were surfing and their girlfriends were making these. So I'm like, ah, cool, yeah. So we each got one. This right here is my Buddha. And so this is my amulet that I got from a temple up in Nakhon Ratchasima, actually. I was at this one and there was this like 75-year-old Buddha, or 75-year-old monk. And I was sitting down talking with him and he had the whole orange thing. And so he gave me this and gave me a kiss on the forehead and stuff. And I was like, eh, that's cool. I'll wear this. I think it brings me good luck. I don't know. It might not, but so far it does. Mikhail says after 20 years and then I just missed it. Damn it, you guys. I'm so sorry. That's what I got to figure out. I got to figure out how to, but again, I'm on my mobile, so I understand why it's, but I tell you what, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to YouTube and then I can scroll up and see them. So apologies, and I'll get back to that. Caesar said, buying property condos as cheap as $7,500 from GHB, government has a ban. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know, dude. Anything less than 10,000, I mean, obviously I would inspect it. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, I can't see that going down too heavily in price. So I think 7,500 to 10,000 bucks. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, you know, 330, you know, 300,000 baht. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I might get into that. Going into Laos, pick up some smoker. Now I haven't had a cigarette in a long time. Sorry, let me qualify that. I have had cigarettes over the course of the last several years, but I have not been a, you know, chronic smoker for 14 years. Is that right? 2006, so 14 years, October. I have not been the regular smoker that I have. I've had cigarettes along the way. But what I'm very clear on is that I have 110% abstinence from alcohol and drugs. That is a deal breaker for me. Cigarettes, whatever, I'll have one fine with my buddies and, you know, whatever. But I can put those down for some reason. I don't have the addiction to nicotine that I do to other things. So you're fixing up a couple of them. Well, dude, shoot, after this, I mean, we got to hang out. I mean, if you're comfortable, obviously, you know, but I would love to see them. Because my buddy did that in Pattaya, actually. I'm going to say that's in 2005, 2006. He was buying condos in Pattaya, well, Jomtien. He had a couple in Pattaya, but mainly Jomtien. And he would fix those up. I think the one he sold recently, I want to say 2, maybe 3 years ago, was for, I think he sold it for 2.1 million baht. So, yeah, I think he was buying them for less than $1 million baht. You know, so there's some appreciation for sure, but it was also because he fixed it out. Everybody says, any comments to make about Canada banning the so-called assault weapons? I literally have no knowledge of that, so I can't make any comments on that. Sorry. I gave him Monk ice cream. What did he say? 2 choices, 2 choices. What? Dude. Yeah. There are many, but not so much in choice areas. Well, absolutely. I mean, look, here's the deal. I mean, the condo I'm living in right now, it's an older building, and, you know, it's a 15-minute walk to BTS. When I was staying in Thong Lo at the Nobel Remix, which if you know anything about that area, Nobel Remix, their second floor lobby, you walk out on the BTS skywalk that goes into their lobby, and you walk right into the BTS. So when it's pouring rain, you can go in and out of your house all day long. It pours rain here, and yeah, I'll take a tuk-tuk for, you know, or not a tuk-tuk, a sungtao for like, you know, 8 baht. I think it'll take me up to that. So the cow says no buyers. Chinatown has some, has none in GHB. Yeah, I can understand that. I would guess that Chinatown, a lot of the Chinese are buying them, and they pay cash, as far as I know, right? They don't need to go through a bank for a loan. But Gal says condos, Pattaya 2 for 1. Well, I mean, look, you know, I wouldn't debated that whether there was Corona or not. I mean, Pattaya is so overbuilt, dude. I mean, if you got a condo in Pattaya, and it's over, like, if you've got a condo on the BTS in Bangkok and it's over 4 years old, it's old. I can tell you, I get smoking deals on those condos. But if it's like 1 to 3 years old, that Airbnb is sometimes north of 2,000 baht a night. So. RL says, good time to buy a condo if you're a betting man. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how long you want it, right? I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, I should have bought Amazon stock like 2 weeks ago. Or even, 2-3 weeks ago when it was down to like 16 or 1700. And at the same time they announced, oh, by the way, we're going to hire 200,000 people. And I thought to myself, I can't believe this thing's going below 1600. Like, that's almost impossible. But I got scared. And I was like, well, you know, I don't have the next 20 years to build up my fortune. I've got the next 15 because I don't really need any until I'm, 65-ish. And of course, the later I wait, the bigger the checks are, right? But from Social Security. But yeah, I mean, I would say, I don't know. It depends. I would submit that there's going to be, like, we're on the first leg, and I think there's another drop that's coming in the economy. If you're any mild knowledge of bear markets, there's the bear rally, and then there's traditionally, another leg. So we shall see. I'm not a financial expert. Not in Pattaya, but a little in Chonburi, maybe Bang Sien, which also has a car race. I'm a big fan of Bang Sien. Gracie and I were down there. That was our last beach we went to, actually. I have videos from that probably, so what would that be? a month old. And then, yeah, China. Caesar says, I'm using mine. Cheap thrill and design exercise. Same footage on Sukhumvit, $500,000. Yeah, it's crazy. Caesar, you know what was amazing to me? Is I think it's right at Nana. Q, the giant gold Q, those companies that have that property. There's that new Q right on Nana. And as far as I know, like, the low buy-in is 30 million baht. And I remember seeing that, and I'm like, I never thought I would see the day where there would be a condo complex, even in the best, even maybe like off a wireless, like overlooking Lumpini, where like there would be condos in Thailand where the minimum ante was $1 million, $1 million, 30 million baht minimum. I'm like, oh my God, that is big cash. So RL asks, can you fix up your own house in Thailand? I thought it was illegal. Andy said, Why deleted my Rike comment? I had DDS community checking in Philippines on him. Not quite sure what you mean, Andy. Oh, did you make a Rike comment here and you think it got deleted? I'm like not touching anything. So there's a possibility, and I can't see the original YouTube feed. So if you believe something got deleted, it wasn't me, and it might have had like a bad word in it or something that YouTube believes. So I don't know what you're referring to, but it makes me laugh. Some people pay it. I get it, dude. I mean, look, at the end of the day, any item is only worth what people would pay for it. I mean, if this phone was $2,000, I wouldn't have bought it. There's no way anyone in the world would pay $2,000 for a Huawei Honor 7A with like 16 gigs of RAM that can't stream real well, right? And I mean, but there are absolutely people, and I would submit a lot of them would be Chinese. I mean, only 50% can have the condo, right? That aren't Thai. But yeah, I mean, they plan their life, 5 to 50 years out. So, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, can you fix up your own? Look, you're not supposed to do certain manual labor tasks, and absolutely laying brick, and doing tile work in your kitchen is not something that you should be doing. You should absolutely be hiring a Thai person to do that. You shouldn't be painting. It depends on the electrical work you're doing. If you're installing data, I would submit that you could probably get away with that. If you're just doing like regular electrical and you're installing 220, then, I mean, if there's a Thai that like is in a bad mood or he dislikes you, they can report you absolutely, and you can get in trouble. My visa on it, it absolutely has in big letters, cannot work, must not work. So Cal says, buy land in New York, Chinese skyscrapers, 20 for sale, and Trump Towers worldwide syndicate. Yeah, I mean, you hear of all that going on. Fix up illegal, stay home. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're doing it in your own house, but I mean, if you build that, if you build it like a chop saw and you're like slicing through, some concrete, or you're laying concrete like on your front porch and you're the only guy out there, you don't have some workers helping you. And he says 5 minutes ago, yeah, sorry, dude. I mean, if you want to like copy and paste it back in, and I don't know if you like type the word, I can tell you right now when I post on some people's channels, because the name of my channel is Live My Ass Off, a lot of times it gets grayed out because the word ass is in there, and I guess that's one of YouTube's bad words. And so feel free, I don't mind. I mean, at the end of the day, I would submit most people that are on here, if there's a comment that's made that's unliked, then people probably just aren't going to pay attention to it, So anyway, yeah, I don't mind. Put whatever you want. Have a lady clean my place. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought about, I mean, I do like basic cleaning and stuff, but, if I were to like get out a vacuum and start making noise with that, could be a little touchy. I mean, I'll like wipe the floor down and stuff. But what's funny, Gracie, who actually gets a lot of people mistaking her for Thai anyway. Like she and I walk down the street, and we meet up with Thai people, and they immediately look at her and start speaking Thai. And she's like, "I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying." Like in perfect English, she says that because she knows even less Thai than I do. And so when Gracie's cleaning our place, I'm like, no big deal. Painting, cheap labor abounds anyway. Absolutely, dude. I mean, think about it. To paint like you will pay more for the paint than you'll pay for the labor. Yeah. Wash your own clothes. Yeah, you know what? Cook your own food, gas your own car. I get it. I mean, look, here's the deal. I have a washer in my place, and I use that, and I do my own laundry, and then I hang my own laundry out on the porch. But the other thing is, I mean, you got to remember that, like, you're not really, like, I'm not going to get reported in this building unless I just do something, that's quite offensive or inappropriate, for example. Like, I'll give you a great example. Like, if that guy came over and he said to me, "Oh, hey, you can't be here," I wouldn't even question him. I literally wouldn't even give it. I'll be like, "Okay, I'll leave." I mean, what's the downside? He's Thai, and this is Thailand. And I'm neither of those things. And I'm like, okay, let's get off my nose. You're not removing any of my constitutional rights, bro. Or maybe he wants to water the lawn and he's like, "Hey, Farang, guess what? The sprinklers are coming on," and all he knows how to say is, "You need leave." So, okay. So I'm not going to make any waves. And so the last thing I think my behavior will do is alert any Thais to report me to the Bureau of, I almost said Bureau of Land Transport, but that's not right. Oh my God, what's it called? Ministry of Labor? Is that right? Is that where they get that? I can't remember. Buy good paint. Absolutely, yes, buy good paint. Caesar says, move furniture, hang drapes. I hired a guy for the wiring and ceiling. Bingo, done cheap. Well, that's the other thing too, is that, trust me, you know, I mean, I'm thinking about like writing my own code, and I like put something up on Upwork.com, and I get a hook because of course my account's from the US, right? So I get a whole bunch of developers, like Java coders from the US. Mike, we're only 75 bucks an hour. I'm like, dude, I could hire really good Java coders like from over there at True Digital Park that are probably out of work right now for 75 bucks a day. I mean, and that's a lot. That's a lot. I could probably hire them for $30 a day. I bet I could get a decent Java programmer for 1,000 baht a day. I'd probably overpay though, because I would want to not have him leave once he got a better job opportunity. But, and he says, I had a girlfriend in Chiang Mai before. I love it there. Yeah, I got to tell you, man, I've never been to Chiang Mai. One of the guys that's regularly on my channel, Brian, from New York City, he was up in Chiang Mai when I was down in Cha Am. And I got to tell you, I'm really bummed that I never went up there and just like hung out with him for 2 or 3 days, because pretty much everybody that I hear that's been to Chiang Mai says they like Chiang Mai. And so I'm pretty certain I'd like Chiang Mai. I don't know if I'd like it in, you know, end of March, April with all the smoke and that sort of thing. But I mean, there were some times when I would be down here in Thailand that I'd open up my phone and it was like, you know, 250 parts per million. So it's like, all right, well, whatever. I mean, again, I used to be a chain smoker, so there's a lot more carcinogens in one cigarette than there is on the BTS, you know, so. I work on my car sometimes too. Yeah, I don't know if I mean, I guess if you're up in the middle of, you know, a lesser, but I don't know if I'd like throw my car out in my driveway here in Bangkok and, you know, whip up my timing light and start doing some work on it, or like body work or whatever. But yeah, I totally get it. I've seen Farang, you know, out there like washing their brand new car, but again, it's so cheap. I mean, to get your SUV washed and waxed here, what is it, like $10? It's like 300 baht, 500 baht. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's amazing. Did graphics, pay to tie for the repaint. Copy that. I get it. Here in Australia, cannot work means work for a boss. But in Thailand, I heard it means you can't even work on your own house. Yeah, and that's the point, RL, is that, you know, you're effectively taking a job away from a Thai person. And I got to tell you, dude, I mean, from a country perspective, like protecting their own citizens, I'm all for it. I think that's actually a very, very good thing. You know, for a country to say, look, unless you're a citizen, like we would rather hire our citizens to work and do jobs. I don't know. I think that's pretty attractive. And I fully support it. And you know, at the end of the day, come on, any of those jobs that I would do. I mean, guys, come on. I mean, I don't know about you, but like, you know, I'm a retired 52-year-old. I worked in IT in Southern California. I mean, you know, I wasn't starving. I wasn't making $1 million a year, every year. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, I mean, come on. I just, you know, as long as I didn't squander my money ridiculously, I've got the ability to live very comfortably over here, and I don't need to take work away from a Thai person. In fact, it just gives me an opportunity to get to know the locals better, really, to hire them. So I would agree with you on that. Okay, 2 choices. Voice of Bangkok, WIHT Mikey's 99.9 or 66.6? 99.9. Whale. Oh, WAIL. FM, Key West, Florida. WAIL, Whale, 99. One of my favorite stations as a kid. My voice is actually getting kind of hoarse because I'm outside, so I'm yelling a little bit more than I normally do. And I haven't been hydrating, my fault. What about putting on makeup? It's work. When I used to do videos that were going to be seen by infinitely more people, just because of what we were doing with this one group. Oh my God, there was, okay, so if you've seen my VUG video, if you go to my channel and you just like in the little hourglass on the right to where it says like about community, you know, that sort of thing, all the way on the right is the hourglass. Type in VUG. You're going to see like 3 videos that say VUG in it. And one of them is like VUG 2.0. If you watch that, you'll see me when I'm outside in a couple of scenarios. During that shoot, I had a woman with makeup following me around. I had a woman following me around, and these were like, white Western women that were just part of the, the crew. And this one woman, her job was to basically follow me around with an umbrella to make sure that the sun didn't deteriorate my makeup too much. And I was like, guys, you got to be kidding me. Like, I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, I mean, there was not even a part of my ego that, like, I don't even want this. Like, this is silly. And I'm really glad that, like, none of my guy friends can see me right now, because they would rather give me crap than be like, oh my God, you're so cool, you're a movie star. They would be like, no, dude, you're a total pansy. Like, what is going on here with this? But yeah, so that's the only time I've ever had to wear makeup. But I can tell you, man, I've seen a ladyboy put on makeup like in the cabaret shows, like Alcazar or Tiffany. That is a 2-hour commitment. I'm like, why don't you hire some? And they usually actually do have someone who's like paid for it. My cow says you can do stuff on your house. You tell your neighbor you're a mercenary sociopath from Texas and you'll kill him. Or you could just be like, no, I'm from Laos. Medical marijuana, what's the status? Here in Thailand? Have a smoke, cool. Yeah, that would add value, wouldn't it? I have lipstick and Rishad. Nice, dude, you're hilarious. So I believe they're still on the fence. And I believe the ones that were really supporting it were a lot of college students. And I believe it was the same group of college students that were pretty public and pretty loud about their rallies, about what they did or didn't like about the government, I think. And again, social distancing and that sort of thing, that thing is really squelched around here. And so I'm sure the college students, once they go back, and they'll be into that again, but I haven't heard anything about it. So Susan says, I get that. Yeah, medical marijuana legal here, TIT, this is time. Machine gun justice, may it never be. I get it, dude. CBD, yeah, need a permit. Yeah, so I mean, in Southern California, all of California, the statement that we joke about is that, man, ever since medical marijuana came around, a lot of people all of a sudden got glaucoma. And it's like, yeah. So anyway, I mean, you guys know a little bit of my story. I mean, I'm clean and sober, right? So as far as I'm concerned, making that stuff legal, that wouldn't have been good for a guy like me. It was bad enough that I could have bought basically as much alcohol as I could have afforded. It would have been bad news if I could have bought as much drugs as I could afford it. So I'm glad that there's a limitation, at least, because I'm alive today. There's a number of reasons I'm alive today. One of them is the limitation based on the fact that the powdered alcohol that I fell in love with was incredibly illegal. So I didn't buy a whole lot of that at 7-Eleven. But Canada legal, haha, new tax base. Yeah, absolutely. It's a new tax revenue. But I mean, I'll tell you what happened in California is that everyone was like, oh my God, it's going to be legal. Now they're going to tax it. This is going to be great. Well, the minute it became legal, it also became worthless, right? Because there's no black market anymore. You can literally walk down the street. And I worked on a college campus, and I can tell you there was a lot of people that said, what better place than near a college campus to put up, a dispensary? And so there were tons of, I mean, you just walk down the street. They were more prolific than 7-Elevens are in Thailand, so, it had no value, zero value. And so, the tax on something that used to cost $1,000 that now costs $100, they're like, whoops. So, I mean, if you don't know, California is bankrupt. I mean, they're like and after this, oh my God, game over. Because again, don't forget, a lot of their revenue comes from startups. And at one time they were the 5th largest economy. I was part of California, 5th largest economy in the world. And now I mean, they're lucky if they're I think they're in the top 10, but I think they're lucky if they're just breaking the top 10. So I wish I had that for pain. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't like feeling that way, but that's just me now. So we're talking about Peru here. Haha, bong. Yeah. I supported way too many Peruvian families when I was, or Colombians as well. Guys, it's 5 o'clock, and I want to thank you a ton. I'm going to go because I got to put my stuff in the fridge. I should probably eat because 2 hours ago I went to get something to eat, and I still have it here, and I haven't ingested it. I have had my mansum now, so I'm feeling awfully mansum. Thank you guys a lot for watching this. I really appreciate you putting up with the imperfection of the video and the audio. I absolutely, if you don't know me, I'm a stickler for that, and it really bugs me when there's bad audio and even bad video. So I will do my best. My next live stream is tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm probably going to start around 8:30 just to kind of chill out with you guys if you want to join early. All you got to do is go to livemyassoff.live. That will always either have the current live stream or the most upcoming, the next upcoming live stream. So livemyassoff.live. And hey, thanks very much. Welcome to the Cool Kids table, Mike. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for the subscription. That's really awesome. What a great way to end it. Great way to end the live stream. Anyway, it's Mike from livemyassoff.com saying I hope you guys are living the dream. Talk to you soon. Ciao.